Live and Amplified Livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Sorry, it's been a little bit since we did the 25 Days of Christmas. I want to say it's been almost a week, but we've been dealing with some technical issues on my end, and, luckily I think we finally got it figured out to where everything should be stable now. So I'm glad to be back, and we'll finish out this last week of great interviews with great independent musicians, like our guest here today, Lizzie Cates. I almost said Cats, but
Listen, I'm not mad about that because everybody knows I'm obsessed with cats. So
actually, it's kind of funny when you logged in. Because it'll tell me like who's logging in, like or what the profile name is, and
yeah,
it said heart or cat love face emoji or something like that, and I was just like,
you're like, what?
and
I always feel like that. I don't know why.
I was trying to figure out why it was telling me this, and I'm like, oh, it's telling me that there's an emoji attached to the. Okay, that's funny.
You're
So
like, why?
yeah, but yeah. So glad to have you back on the podcast. It's been a good 2 years.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
been a
like
minute.
it's been a whole lifetime of things that have changed, and you've been extremely busy.
Yes.
Enjoyed kind of watching your music progress from when we had you back on in July of 2020, fresh in the middle of the pandemic, to now here we are wrapping up 2022.
Oh my gosh, what the heck? I can't believe it's been that long. Like it
Right?
doesn't feel like that long.
I know it's just, like the pandemic just kind of did weird things to
Yeah.
to everybody's comprehension of time, but
Yeah, it's irrelevant at this point.
yeah. So, how have things been going? You're still based out of Nashville. How are things going for you in Nashville?
It's been, geez, from the last time I talked to you, it's been a lot. I think the last time I talked to you, I had just quit being a bartender,
Mm-hmm.
and I had released my song "I Like the Way."
Yep.
And then the next year was weird. Like I did music, but not really. Like I think I put out a couple songs, but then I like kind of fell off. I started working at Starbucks again, so I just stopped doing music, which is kind of insane. I guess that was just the world that we lived in, I guess. And then as soon as 2022 hit, like I'm not even kidding, January 1st, I was like, I'm doing music full time.
Yeah.
That I have been doing music full time. I play shows like 7 days a week now,
Nice.
like constantly writing. Like it's great. It's been a lot,
Oh yeah, for sure.
but it's been great. I mean,
But at least you're in Nashville, where playing
yeah,
seven days a week isn't really like if you were playing anywhere else, because
right,
it's like it's always a fresh crowd
yeah,
because of the tourism and all that.
hmm
Yeah. At this point, I'm sure tourism in Nashville is pretty happening.
yeah. It's this summer was pretty crazy. It was definitely a lot. Felt a lot more packed than the
Yeah.
year before, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this
Uh.
year's gonna be even more insane, but
Oh yeah.
we'll find
It
out.
especially with it being like the first summer where like COVID hasn't really been mentioned that much in the
Yeah,
news, where it's like this 2023 might be that first year where I don't want to say people forgot, but
yeah,
they're going to go out without any real fear of
yeah,
anything. So
yeah, for sure.
it'll be interesting. But yeah, no. So, like we mentioned, it's been a little over 2 years since we had you on. You released a Christmas song in between that time. You've released a lot of singles. Have you released a full album? I'm trying to. No, just all singles, right?
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of like I want to record an album, but I just don't know if it's really like the world. Everybody just wants singles now. Like they
Yeah.
want things quick, you know? So it's easier to put out singles. I'm working towards wanting to put out an album.
Hmm.
This King of Hearts song is definitely like the first song off that project that
Hmm.
I'm not really sure if I'm going to release it as a full project or if it's just going to be singles. But yeah, the song that I just released in October is definitely going to be like the next chapter of my music for sure.
So that next chapter, is there been like a, for the people that are just kind of finding out about you through this podcast, uh, is it this next chapter was of starting with King of Hearts? Is it like a style change? Are you like experimenting with your sound, or is it just your song content and like what you sing about is different?
It's kind of like a mixture of everything. So like
Okay.
when I put out "I Like the Way" back in 2020 when we first talked, that was a song. That was like the first song that I like really wrote that was gonna be mine because like I think I had said the last time we talked is that I moved to Nashville wanting to be an artist, but then realized I just really loved writing more than
Mm.
anything. So I kind of like fell out of the artist spotlight, I guess, and just focused on writing for other artists. So when I wrote "I Like the Way," that was like sonically and everything. When we first wrote it, I was like, that's mine. And then I started getting into trying to experiment who I want to be as an artist.
Mm.
And so I kind of feel like all those other songs that I put out, I'm not trying to like, not think that those songs are important to me because they
Mm.
are. But I never really felt like it was me sonically. I like the way it was. So I feel like King of Hearts was the first song where I kind of went back to that sound and kind of
Mm.
really expanded on that. Um, which I don't even know how to describe it. It's like
Yeah.
country, but also very like indie rock at the same
Mm.
time.
Good. It's
So
it. You know, that's the cool thing about independent music, just in general, is the genres don't really matter. Like
yeah,
you just you're Lizzie Cates. That's all it.
yeah,
That's all that matters. So
yeah, and I think that's really cool because I'm influenced by so many different sounds. So it's kind
mm.
of cool that the genres are kind of bending now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It it's genre bending. It's just kind of taking all those influences and kind of figuring out how they can all cohesively work together
yeah,
and just kind of being it's all about being authentically who you want to be, not pretending to be, oh, I'm going to
correct.
pretend to be Kelsey Ballerini because she
Yeah,
sells, a lot of music, whatever. So,
yeah. I think like with the songs that I put out last year, like "We Can't Be Friends," a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, you need to fill Taylor Swift's role. You need to fill that. You need to fill that." So I really kind of dove way too far into the Taylor Swift side, which don't get me wrong, everybody knows I'm like a huge mega fan, but I'm also like I love pop punk and I love like edginess of that,
mm,
like emo music, like
yeah.
Avril Lavigne, and so I was just like, I missed that side of me. So I think I found a good way to like blend that and make it more me rather than just being like to fill the Taylor Swift role.
Yeah,
So
I feel it. Oh, it's kind of piggybacking off of that, going back to King of Hearts. You released two different versions. You released like the original version, and then you really what'd you call it, the sad
the
girl
sad
version?
girl version. Yeah. So I wrote this song. This is why this song was so important to me. I was so scared to release it because I wrote it by myself 8 years ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that's like talking about me, raw me. That's
Mm.
me. So I put out the regular version, which is kind of like an up and down production because that's how that feeling felt. It's about a relationship where people told you not to go for it because his reputation is bad and like all this stuff, but you do it anyway. And it kind of feels like you're falling into this guy's wonderland, like you
Mm.
can't find your way out. And so I wanted a production to go like up and down of that feeling. But when I first wrote it, I wrote it in the middle of the night at my piano. And so I wanted to release a version that was like more stripped down because when I feel like when you're in that situation, you have two emotions. You're,
Mm.
oh my god, what is happening? I'm about to like fall on my face right now. I'm falling so hard for this person that I know is not going to catch me. Like you want to have that like kind of like anxious, almost like angry kind of like, oh my, when is this going to end? Like I
Mm.
don't want it to end, but I know it's going to. But then at the end of it, you're left alone, lying on the ground, like wondering what happened and being sad. And so I wanted two versions to kind of capture that emotion.
Yeah, I got it.
So
So it's not like what the hip hop scene would call like a remix. It's just kind of like a strip, a little bit more stripped back.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I always wanted a cello on it. And so I had my friends Gideon and Gabe, they record on all of my stuff. They're two brothers here in town.
Nice.
I had sent it to them, and I was just like, think Game of Thrones. And they sent me back the cello part, and it totally sounds like a sad scene from Game of Thrones. And I was like, understood the assignment. I love it.
Nice. That's awesome. That's oh, so the King of Hearts has been out. You said it dropped in October. Yeah, October.
Yeah, October 14th.
What's kind of the you kind of teased the idea of wanting to do a like a full project behind this release. Are you looking at the next single, or what's where you kind of at there?
So I have a couple songs that I've written that I'm thinking about releasing. I'm not
Mm,
we haven't picked the exact one yet, but I'm
mm,
going in January to record them, so we'll figure out which one. I also have another side project that I'm joining in on. That is to be announced very soon, but
nice.
I'm very excited about it.
Is it
All I
a
can say is there's gonna be a lot of music next year, so I'm really excited, and it's all like on my terms, which is all you can hope
nice?
for. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah,
It that kind of I feel like that kind of goes back to the conversation that we had off the record. So a little bit,
yeah,
a little bit. Okay, gotcha. Uh, um, no, that's awesome. You know, like the fact, like when you brought up that you had kind of taken 2021 off, I didn't quite connect the dots because I just always remember seeing you always promoting music, whether it was 2020, you know, like no matter what year it was. So I didn't even put two and two together that you had kind of stepped away from music. But
yeah.
just
I mean, I released two songs, but I wasn't playing and I wasn't like writing, so which is sad, very
yeah,
sad.
I got you. But sometimes you just need that break. Like you're still kind of exercising that creative muscle, but like I've definitely been in those situations where it's like doing a podcast 3 times a week is just too much for me. Like it's just I don't have the brain capacity for this. I don't have the emotional stability. You know, just like all these things, all these factors are weighing in. So
Yeah,
just kind of like, okay, I'll do one every couple of weeks just to kind of keep the reps up. And I kind of feel like you did the exact same thing. Although you weren't playing music, you were still releasing music. You were
yeah,
exercising that creative brain. But then once 2022 hit, it was just kind of like, oh, that's this, it's time to go. And I
yeah,
feel like that's 2023 for me because it's like, okay, 2023, it's time to go. Like, we cannot wait anymore. So
yeah,
it'll be an exciting 2023 to say the least. So,
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. Yeah, I mean, burnout is definitely gonna happen. I mean, I get burnt out all the time, and it's just
yeah.
finding other ways. Because like me, like I have to be a creative person, or else I kind of slip into this like dark hole. So I think like for me, it's like yeah, music is my number one, but I also have to just step away and be like, okay, what's another creative thing that could get my that makes me still feel like you're creative? Because when you're doing
Yeah.
the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, it doesn't feel like you're accomplishing
Mm-hmm.
like that joy of being creative, I guess I
Yeah.
should say. Because if you're accomplishing something, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're doing it over and over again, it just starts to feel like, I hate to say it, but like a job.
Yeah.
Whereas like you have to step away and be like, okay, what's another thing that I can do that get
Yeah.
that same enjoyment, and it kind of like makes it feel like, okay, I'm doing different things with my life.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's I 100% agree with that, and I know where you're coming from because like I think that was the cause of a lot of my burnout was my day job is very parallel to what I do here. It's
yeah,
video production. It's just kind of being creatively on it all the time. And I think earlier this year and last year, I was having a hard time kind of separating the differences between, okay, live and amplified, this is something that I love doing and have fun and can be very creative with my day job where it's, nope, just keep doing that same thing you do all the time. Just stay right there. No, and just kind of it being a job, like you had mentioned. And
yeah,
so I was having a hard time kind of separating the two. And then the last couple of weeks or so, it was just kind of like, you know what? Here's the hard line. That's all I got to do. So,
yeah.
but yeah. So, so you're obviously busy. It is the Christmas season, so let's chat about your Christmas release that you dropped in 2020, because this was shortly after we had our chat, um, our first chat, or well, I guess our first and second chat. So
Yeah.
um, it's called Christmas Eve, correct?
Yeah.
What's the story behind that song?
So I had never written a Christmas song. I have sat down like literally since I was a little kid to try to write a Christmas song, but for some reason I could never write it. And so I was sitting there and I was talking to Kate Hastings, who I wrote I Like the Way with, and I was telling her this story and I was just like, I just like want to write like a good, like sappy, like Hallmark Christmas song, but I want to put a twist on it and make it kind of sad, like
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit, nothing like too crazy. And she's like, yeah, she's like, yeah, I think I can, I can feel that. And then she calls me later that day on the treadmill, and she's like, I got it. It's gonna be called Christmas Eve, and we're gonna write it. And so we wrote it the next day, and then we also recorded it in the same day, and then put it
Nice.
out a week later because we decided that we didn't want to wait until the following Christmas to put it
Fair.
out.
Fair. I
So
that is a conversation I have with a lot of musicians, because it's one of those weird things where it's like, okay, where do you write the Christmas music? Because if you write it during the Christmas season, chances are you're not going to get it out. But
yeah,
unless you just have that will or the drive to get it, do it early in the season and still get it out.
yeah.
Before we jump in, though, continue with this, I do want to shout out Chelsea Burns. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for bringing your family over. I really appreciate that. Chelsea Burns is also a musician from Nashville, or based out of Nashville. So Nashville is here in full force tonight. So
Woohoo!
um,
Go Nashville.
I'm, I I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it until I actually move to Nashville. It's going to happen one of these years. So Texas is cool, but it feels a little bit more homely to me.
Yeah.
So, but so Christmas Eve, was I reading this correctly that it got sync or placed in sync somewhere?
No,
No.
no, I was talking about wanting to put it on Hallmark. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, I'm just like every year I'm like, okay, we're gonna send it to sync. And we still haven't sent
Okay.
it.
Because I think it was the last time you posted on your Instagram or about a week or two ago, and I was just like, did it get placed somewhere, or am I just
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's definitely a song that would totally fit in a Hallmark movie,
Yeah.
100% though.
And I think that's kind of becoming one of those things where a lot of musicians are really just playing to Hallmark right now,
Yeah,
because it's becoming one of those things where, yeah, they want to be on Hallmark, or they want to, like, Hallmark movies. They're notoriously kind of cheesy, and
yeah.
but every once in a while, you sit down and watch a Hallmark movie, and it's like, wait, that's actually kind of good.
I love watching the Hallmark Channel. Like, I'm not even ashamed. I love watching it during Christmas time. It just
Yeah,
feels good. Like, put it on. There's sometimes I'll put it on during the summer and there's a Christmas movie playing, and I'm like, I'm not mad about it.
yeah, I feel that. I feel that. I was watching it. I was going through YouTube TV the other day, and like on YouTube TV, it has all these movies that are just there. They're not even like playing live or whatever. And I was just like scrolling through, and I was like, I just need something on in the background. So I turned on a Christmas movie, and I started watching it, and it was just really cheesy, like a cheesy Christmas love story
It's so
thing.
good.
And I'm sitting there, I'm watching this thing, and I recognize somebody on there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that person from somewhere. And I looked them up, and I was like, oh, they're in that show that I like to watch or whatever. And and then I was like, wait, who makes this movie? And sure enough, it's a Hallmark movie.
I
And so
love it.
it's, yeah.
I love that. That's
I
great.
So, keep on pushing it. You'll get it in there eventually. So,
I hope.
uh, yeah. Uh, so since it is the Christmas season, what's your plans for Christmas this year?
So this is gonna be the first year that I'm staying in Nashville, which is gonna be weird. Like, this is gonna be my first year not either going home to Reno or going home to New Jersey with my boyfriend. But we just bought a house, and so I was like, let's just stay here for Christmas.
Mm.
So it's gonna be cool. I'm actually very excited to wake up in my own bed and not have to travel.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be delightful. Actually, we
It's
have like
such a
all these plans. We're gonna like make cookies. We're gonna watch
nice.
Christmas movies, and I get to hang out with my cat.
Nice.
I haven't spent Christmas with my cat in a couple years.
It's such a crazy idea. It just might work.
I know. I'm so excited.
So, so fair to say that Nashville is your home now, since you bought a house and kind of are
Yeah, I
there.
think I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay a while.
Nice. Hey, that's always good. Put down roots. That's what.
Yeah.
So, um, so one thing that we've started doing with every guest that comes on the podcast is we play a fun little game called Rapid Fire Randomness. I have a random
Okay.
question generator
I'm ready.
that. Okay.
I'm ready.
So first, I'm going to ask a couple of Christmas related questions, and then we'll just kind of jump into the more random, assorted questions as I, kind of
Yeah.
bring them up. So, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
So there's this movie. Nobody ever knows what this is, but it's called Annabelle's Wish. It's a cartoon about a cow that wants to be a reindeer, but it's so cute and it's voiced by Randy Travis. So
Okay.
love it. So good.
I was just about to ask. That sounds like an animated movie,
It
but
is an animated movie. It
that's
like
fair.
came out in like the '90s. I don't know, but Randy Travis voices it. He's like the little boy, but he's older and he's telling the story. So done. Love it.
Deal. Okay, I'm gonna have to go look that up. That sounds like a. That
They
sounds
have it
like.
on YouTube. So if you
Okay.
want to watch it, go watch it on YouTube. I got it. I had it on VHS when I was younger. So yeah, YouTube.
Fair. Gotcha. If you could be best friends with any one of Santa's reindeer, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, that's a probably Comet, just because of the Santa Claus movies. Like Comet's the funny one. So yeah, probably
You're the
Comet.
first person that didn't say Rudolph because they're all like, well, I don't know the characteristics of the reindeer. I'm like, well, that's not
I didn't
really.
even think about. I didn't even think about Rudolph. To be honest with you, because Rudolph is not like in any of the new Christmas movies.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
Comet for me.
Yeah. I, have you seen, speaking of the Santa Claus, have you seen the new series on Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's all right. I expected more, and the theme song. I have no idea what the heck was going on with that theme song. It looked nothing like the show, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think they were kind of trying to set themselves up to be a recurring thing
yeah,
for every Christmas, which I get it, but I don't
yeah,
know. It was okay.
yeah,
The last couple of episodes got better, but like trying to
yeah,
get through the first five, it was like, ooh, this is a grind to get through
yeah.
these. So, what is your favorite Christmas cookie?
This is like super late. No, you know what? I love. Okay, so just me as a Taylor Swift fan, I love her eggnog chai cookies.
Oh,
She
really?
like
Okay.
released her recipe like years ago, so those are really
Okay.
good. But I also like growing up. My mom always just made peanut butter cookies and chocolate chip cookies, so
Yeah.
it's basic, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel it. I got you. I feel it. So now we'll kind of transition into the more random part of this fun little game that we play.
Okay.
If cars were free, how many would you have?
Probably maybe two.
When was the last time you met somebody that intellectually challenged you?
Oh my gosh. That's a good. I mean, there's a lot of people that like, especially like, with songwriting and stuff like that. They challenge me, but I think the person that really like made me feel so like dumb was my ex because he was a computer programmer. So it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so we're gonna go with him.
What is one of your traits that you know? What's the word? Oh, dang it! I can't even pronounce this word. What is? Damn it! Oh, I just failed so hard. That was. What is one of your traits that annoy the hell out of your boyfriend?
Oh my god, there are way too many. Way too many.
I can't believe I couldn't have pronounced that word. I'm sitting there like, what? What is that word? So okay, continue. Sorry.
Oh my gosh! Like, what are the um? Oh my gosh! I don't even know. Um, I'm my makeup all over the mirror. Or are you talking about traits though? Let's
Yeah,
see. Oh my gosh, this is supposed to be Spitfire, and I'm like,
I mean, we can go with the makeup that work because I mean, I feel like traits. Yeah, we could play with that one. That works. How would you describe yourself in 4 words to a complete stranger?
Oh my god, crazy, hilarious, um, um, moody. You said four, right?
Yep.
Okay. Um, uh, crazy, moody, hilarious. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Yeah, creative. I mean, obviously,
Crit. Yeah.
that's an obvious one.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then final question: whose life would you like to try for one day?
Um, ooh. I would love. I know this is like so like obvious to me, but like
Mm-hmm.
I would love to pretend to be Taylor Swift on a day that she's playing a show.
Okay.
Like just to be able to get that thrill of playing a stadium. But like any other day, obviously I wouldn't want to live her life because that's insane, and I would hate to be that famous because you can't even go to the supermarket.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that. So that was rapid fire randomness. Not so
Woo!
rapid fire, but pretty random.
I know I'm really bad at that. Like I thought that I was gonna be good, and I'm not. Like I do not go that quickly.
It's kind of the generator's fault because it asks really weird questions that are a little bit more thought provoking than it
Yeah,
thinks it is. So
it's supposed to be like, what's your favorite color?
yeah,
What's the song you sing in the shower? Like it's these questions. Like those are rapid fire questions.
yeah, sweet. Before we continue here, anybody that's watching live in the chat, if you would like or have any questions you'd like me to ask, I will do my best to get those out. And I'm gonna throw Lizzie Kate's Spotify. Yep, that's the name of this program here. I'm gonna throw it in the comment section below, so you can go check out her music uh, after this podcast. So, Lizzie, it's been 2 years since we've chatted. I made the joke earlier that I will not have you back on in 6 weeks, but that's just kind of how it is.
I get it.
So what's kind of the plan? Are you pretty much done playing shows for the rest of the year, or do you got more shows?
No,
No,
I have 9 shows this week.
this week?
Yeah,
Holy crap!
I
Okay.
know. I'm a workaholic. I can't. Well,
Do you-
everybody's gonna be gone for Christmas, so they're like, "Can you play this show? Can you play this one? Can you do this one? Can you do this one?" So
That's fair. Yeah. Hey, it's one of those things where it's like take it while the getting's good. So
yeah.
it's so after this week, are you gonna kind of slow down, or do you got more shows next week too?
So next week I have Monday, and then we're going to New Jersey to visit his family, and then I will be back New Year's Eve, and then I have a show New Year's Day. So
Nice, nice. Are you primarily playing around Nashville right now, or are you
yeah.
trying to get out and do that whole fun thing?
Next year I'm definitely looking into touring quite a bit. I'm actually going to Canada, which is gonna be
Oh, nice.
awesome. Um, yeah, so just if anybody's watching and want, tell me where I should go because I'm trying to book
Nice.
shows like crazy right now. So
That's what's up. I purposely am booking a trip to Toronto in April so I can go watch my Chicago White Sox play the Toronto Blue Jays, and I'm trying to make it a reason to go do live and amplified things there. And I'm
there
like,
you go.
this is
You'll
the
get
most
a work trip.
yeah. It's a work trip. We'll do we'll do a
Fine.
podcast or something, but I'm literally going there to go watch a baseball game because
I love that.
I've never been to Toronto, so it's like, okay, we're gonna go. So
I've never been to Canada either. This girl saw me play downtown and
mm,
then asked me, "Can you play my birthday party?" And I was like, "Yeah."
nice.
So that's gonna be
Where
fun.
where in Canada is it?
Ontario somewhere.
Okay, so yeah, it's got to be around Toronto then.
Yeah,
At
probably.
least you'd think, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't
I
have all
don't
the
know the.
information.
I don't know the geographical locations of Canada. I'm a
Me either.
stupid American, so who knows? I, I had somebody call me that once. I laughed my ass off for like
I
three
love
weeks
it.
straight. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a stupid American. Leave me alone. So, um, then going into 2023, you're going back into the studio, correct?
Yeah, I hope.
Sweet.
I should. Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. I'm
You
really
gotta,
excited. I have too many songs I need to pick through, so it's like I need to hear what they sound like produced. So
yeah, I
yeah,
got you. It's a you got to follow up King of Hearts. You know, it's a even the regular version, the sad girl version. You know, it's all perfect, and you know, it's just I can't wait to see what you come out with next. It's
I
so.
know, like that's what like this is why I'm having a hard time because I'm like, how
Hmm.
do I top a song that it took me 8 years to release? It was my fans' favorite song. We filmed a music video for it, and it's like straight Game of Thrones. It's my
Mm.
favorite thing I've ever done in my life. So
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I supposed to top that? I don't
I,
know.
s- I saw the press photos for it, and I was like, oh, somebody must have been watching Game of Thrones when this one went down. So
I like anything medieval,
yeah,
so I just like wanted it to be like super just
yeah,
yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. But you know what? Let's dive into this a little bit. I know we said we were going to be about a half hour,
It's
but
all good.
you brought up something, and I kind of want to dive into this because you said it took you 8 years to
Yeah,
release King of Hearts.
I know.
Why do you think that was? Why, like, was it just wasn't right timing, or were you apprehensive about it? Like, where were you kind of at throughout the entire process?
Well, it was a process. It was like a process. I don't know. It
Yeah,
was like a love hate relationship with
yeah,
it. Like I recorded it, and it sounded like a Paramore song when I first recorded it. Like it was just up and down, all over the place. Like
yeah,
drums going off the wall, like vocals, total Paramore with a banjo on it. And I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like
hmm,
I don't know. And then like I released it. I put a video of me singing it on when Tumblr was a thing.
oh yeah,
Um, and it was like my first kind of like I wouldn't say viral because it was
mm,
not viral at all, but
yeah,
it got a lot of views on my Tumblr. It kind of felt like when TikTok, like when people's like TikToks would take off.
yeah,
It kind of felt like that, and so like every single time, like people were like, "Yes, please release this," and then I kind of like I hadn't released music back then because it was like I didn't know you could just like release music. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I thought you had to be like on a label and like all this stuff. I didn't know you could just release music. So I put the demo on Bandcamp.
hmm,
That was like the best thing I could do for
yeah,
my fans. And so I was like, whatever, it's out. It's out. And then I realized I wrote my song Strangers and realized you could put songs on iTunes. And so I
hmm,
kind of like took down King of Hearts and then just moved on with my life. I thought we were
yeah,
moved on. I thought we were done with this song. And this was like, what was it, 3 years ago? Not 3 years ago, huh?
mm,
3 years later that I released
yeah,
Strangers. So like, it was like, I thought we were done with it. And so I just kind of like let it die. But then every single time, I was still getting messages being like, I love this song, but when is King of Hearts coming out? And I'm just like, let it go. Let it die. And I'm over here like, and then I moved to Nashville and I started co-writing and all this stuff. And
mm,
that song was in the back of my head. It was just gone. It was like not there anymore. And then
yeah.
I was sitting there hanging out with my friends and I was playing songs that I'd written in the past. And I wrote that one and they stopped me in my tracks going, you wrote that by yourself? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you have to release this song. And
It,
then still going down the road, I'm like, we're just going to let it die. We're going to let it die. It's fine.
yeah.
Just let it go. Let it go. And then when I put out I Like the Way, I demoed King of Hearts again. Like I kind of rewrote the melody a little bit with
Yeah.
my friend Nate Teal, who helped me write Strangers. And when I went into demo I Like the Way with Robbie, who's my producer,
Mm-hmm.
just it was like something was magical. Like I was just like, this is how I needed to hear it
Mm-hmm.
in order to feel like I needed to release it. And so, but then it still was like, what? That was we demoed it in 2019,
Yeah.
and so I just kept letting it go. And then I was just like, it was supposed to be out last October. Like we
Okay.
started filming the music video last October, and then we didn't get all the shots, and the leaves were gone. And I was like, well, it's supposed to look fairy tale. Like if the leaves are gone, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And so we're like, well, guess we're waiting another year to release it. And then this year I was like, no, we are releasing it. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is happening. It is going out into the world.
That, hey, you know what though? That just kind of tells me that you felt like this song kind of needed to mature for you. You needed to
Yeah, it
like
really
natural.
did. It really did. Because if you heard that first recording of it, it is a mess. It
Wait,
is a mess.
did you record it yourself or the
Yeah, so
original recording?
I recorded it in my bedroom. So it was just kind of like, it wasn't like the best sounding recording.
Hey, you know what though? You were doing something. You were really young, just trying to make your dreams happen. And definitely don't fault you for thinking, okay, this was a song that I wrote early on, and just kind of let it go. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you said "Let It Go" more than a Disney
I
princess
did.
movie.
I did. I did. And then I totally went total Disney princess Game of Thrones with the music video, so it worked out.
That's awesome. I'm glad you kind of, I don't want to say came to your senses, but came around to the idea of letting the song come out and not and letting it go out into the world and do its thing. And so it's glad it just kind of spawned a whole new renaissance for you as far as like what kind of musician you want to be and where you want to go. And I think you're going to do some amazing things in 2023 with this in your back pocket. So
Yeah, it's gonna be. I just love it because right now I feel like I have full creative control of what I want to do instead of people
yeah,
being like, "You should be this."
yeah. That
So
seems like a very like both sides of that story seem very Nashville
yeah,
because there's definitely those artists out there that are just doing what their manager or their PR rep or whoever is like. No, you got to be like the name any insert any country music artist.
yeah,
You got to be like them. You got to do it exactly like they did to make it to the big leagues. And
yeah.
then you got the other side. It's like, no, just okay. You want to do Texas black dirt country, like whatever it is, go for it.
Yeah, for
So
sure. It's just yeah,
it's awesome though. I'm glad you're kind of finding your way and doing what you want to do.
yeah.
So
I'm very excited about this next year. So
nice. So for anybody that wants to check out King of Hearts, anything you got going on, or catch any one of your 9 shows this week, where's the best place to find you? Where's the best place to interact with you on social media?
oh my gosh, I post about my shows all the time on Instagram. Instagram's the best way to find me. So,
Nice.
or you could just literally, you could probably just message me and be like, "Hey, I'm in Nashville today. Are you playing?" And the odds are that I probably am. So,
Yeah. All right. So for these shows, is it pretty much just you solo, or you got like a band that'll play with you, or is it kind of a mix of everything?
it's kind of a mix of everything. But
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a lot with my friend Justin Lee, who's also from Reno.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's just kind of we just kind of go back and forth and
Yeah.
play songs, whatever you want to hear. So
Gotcha. So it'll be like a song swap type situation.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then on Sundays I play with my band, which is fun. So
Nice, nice, nice. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute blast. We should not wait another 2 years to have this happen. So,
no, but not in
um,
6 weeks.
not 6 weeks either. For anybody listening, that is not a joke for you to get. It'll piss off a lot of people if I explain that joke. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
it's
just
fun.
gotta let it go.
Let
So
it go.
yes,
Let it die.
So, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. As we wrap this up, Lizzie Cates, what's one piece of advice you have for the young musicians out there?
Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot you can give, but probably the biggest thing is just let it go. Like I know that like we were just talking about that, but I'm serious. Like whatever is gonna happen, and so like don't be afraid to experiment and to just keep trying new things until you figure out what's you, because what you think is you right now is gonna change, and change is inevitable. So just go with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Um, but once again, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute blast. We will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Except for, yeah, 8 p.m. for all of them, actually, now that I think about it. We've got 4 more podcasts this year, and then I get to take a nice little 8 day break. So,
We all need it.
it is what it is. But once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We are going to queue up a raid here just to kind of spread the love to another musician. So once again, Lizzie, thank you so much for jumping on. Like I said, let's not wait another 2 years, but we'll have that conversation at a later date. Um,
Thanks
all
for
right.
having me
Yeah,
back.
absolutely. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you all later. All right. Cool.